previously, we managed to discover sensitive information and information disclosure bug by simply loading the robots.txt file and following whatever paths it contained. This is one way of discovering hidden paths, but there might be more hidden stuff that is not listed in here, or the target might not even have the robots.txt file. Now, there is no direct way of knowing all hidden paths within a target domain. The only way is to simply try whatever file names or directory names that you can think of in here and see what loads for you. So that could be pretty time consuming, and therefore it would be a good idea to use a tool that will do that for us automatically. There are a lot of tools that can do this. A tool that I really like, it's called Ferox Buster, and we'll see how to even use this to discover endpoints, and we'll talk about that later when I show you my methodology for bug hunting or pen testing. But for now, we're going to use it to discover hidden paths that might contain some sensitive information. So the way this tool will work is you will simply give it a domain name and you will give it a word list. And what we mean by a word list is a file, such as this one, that is made up of a long list of names. So this tool will basically load the domain name that you specify and then append all the words that we have in here one by one to the end of the domain name that you specify in here and monitor whether it gets a positive response or not. And then when it's done, it's going to give you a report of all of the paths that actually exist on the target website. Now, installing this tool is very easy. So if we just scroll down, you can see the installation instructions for Kali Linux, for other Linux and Mac OS, and for Windows. And I will include this link in the resources, so don't worry about that. And all you have to do to install this tool is to simply copy the code that you see for your operating system and execute it in your terminal. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to install it on this computer, which is a Mac, but in the next lecture, I will show you how to install it on a Windows computer. But do not skip this lecture because I'm going to show you how to use the tool in this lecture, and using it is exactly the same on all operating systems. So I'm running Mac OS, and as you can see, the command will work for all Linux versions. All you have to do is simply copy it and then open up your terminal. On Linux, you will have to find your terminal application, possibly on your dock in here, similar to where you would find it on Kali Linux. And on Mac OS, you can go to all applications and type terminal to get the terminal app. And once you have the app loaded, you don't really have to do anything crazy smart. All we have to do is simply paste the command that we just copied. I'm gonna hit enter. And as you can see, we get a message saying install Ferox Buster, whatever version it is. So now the application is installed. Next, we will have to run this application. So all you have to do is simply type // to run an application within the current working directory. And we want to run an application that is called Ferox Buster. Now, we don't want to run the application yet, we want to learn how to use it. And usually you can type --help to get a help menu that will show you how you could use this application. So I highly recommend spending some time looking at all the options that this application offers. You can see the basic usage is to specify the name of the tool followed by the options. Now what we want to do, we want to specify a target. So we're going to do -u to give it a URL for the target. That means a link to the target. And then we're going to use the -w to give it a word list. So I'm going to clear my screen. We're going to do // like we said, Ferox Buster. We're going to do -u to specify the URL, the target. And for example, let's say we want to do this lab, and I will include its link in the resources. So we're going to right click and open it in a new tab to load the lab, to load the vulnerable web application. And once it loads, as you can see, it's a normal website. We're going to copy its URL and paste it in here. And finally, as I said earlier, we're going to use the -w option to specify a word list. And like we said, the word list is simply a file that contains a large number of words that the program will automatically append to the end of the URL and monitor whether it gets a positive response or not, and then give us a report at the end. Now, there is a large number of places where you can get such word lists. A really good one is SecList, this GitHub repository. I will include its link in the resources of this lecture. And this repository contains a large number of word lists. The one I'm using right now is located in the discovery, in the web content, and in a file called common.txt. So to get the raw content of this file, I can simply click on the raw in here. And to save this, we're going to do CMD and S. We're going to select where to save it. So I'm just going to save it in my home directory. And I'm going to leave it to be called as common. We're just going to add .txt to it. We're going to save. As you can see, it's downloaded now for me. So I can simply type its name in here because it's stored in the same working directory. So we're simply going to type common.txt. And now the program is ready to go. So very simple. We're given the name of the program, preceded by /. We're going to do -u to specify the target URL or the target website, and then -w to specify the word list file that contains all the words that will be appended to the end of our target. I'm going to hit enter to let it run. Now that Ferox Buster finished executing, and I actually zoomed out so you get a nicer menu in here, you can see we're looking for 200 status code. This means that whatever request that it made, it got a positive response, that it said that this request does exist on the target. So you can see the request to the main domain of our target gives us 200. But also we got the following results, which might be quite interesting, such as analytics, CGI bin, favicon, simply the icon of the website, and the filter. So you'd want to go ahead and load every single URL in here and see what data you find. Now, I don't want to waste your time. I've already done all of that. And I know the CGI bin in here might contain some useful information. So we're going to copy it. We're going to go back to our web browser and we're going to load it. And as you can see, we have a file that is pretty interesting. It's called PHP info. And if I click on this file, you'll see that I'll get very, very detailed information about the PHP environment installed on the target web server. So we can see all of the plugins that's installed, all of the modules that are enabled and disabled. And if you look hard enough, you'll actually find a secret key. And as you can see, you have it in here. So this is a massive information disclosure bug or vulnerability that you should report if you find it in a bug hunt or a pen test.